The Zephyrian High Command had studied Earth for exactly 47 solar cycles. Their scouts reported a primitive world inhabited by soft, hairless bipeds who fought amongst themselves with crude chemical explosives and metal projectiles. The humans appeared to lack any significant spacefaring capability beyond a few rickety stations orbiting their home planet. Commander Vextar of the 4th Conquest Fleet stood before the holographic display, showing Earth's blue marble suspended in the void. His chitinous armor gleamed under the command deck's crimson lighting as he addressed the assembled war chiefs. This primitive world possesses vast water reserves and rare mineral deposits, Vextar declared, his mandibles clicking with satisfaction. Their military technology is laughably outdated. Our preliminary assessment suggests total planetary subjugation within 3 rotations. The war chiefs buzzed their approval. The Zephyrian Empire had conquered 47 worlds using the same methodical approach: study, assess, overwhelm. Never had they encountered meaningful resistance. They had made one critical error in their assessment. They had studied humanity during peacetime. Admiral Sarah Chen received the first contact transmission while reviewing supply reports in her office aboard Titan Station. The Zephyrian message was succinct: surrender unconditionally or face total annihilation. They generously offered 72 hours for compliance. Chen's weathered face remained impassive as she forwarded the message to Earth Command. Within 6 hours, every major world leader had convened an emergency session. The response was unanimous and immediate. Humanity did not surrender. The Zephyrian first wave arrived expecting to find cowering primitives begging for mercy. Instead, they encountered something that defied their understanding of warfare. Earth's orbital defense grid activated the moment the alien fleet breached the heliopause. Weapons platforms that had been disguised as communication satellites revealed their true purpose. Kinetic railguns, originally designed for asteroid mining, repurposed themselves into ship killers. The lunar mass driver, ostensibly built for cargo transport, began launching tungsten rods at appreciable fractions of light speed. But this was merely the opening act. Commander Vextar watched in growing alarm as his fleet's vanguard simply disappeared. Not destroyed in brilliant explosions as expected, but systematically dismantled by weapons that seemed to materialize from nowhere. His tactical officers reported impossible readings: human vessels appearing and vanishing like ghosts, striking with surgical precision before melting back into the void. "How are they masking their heat signatures?" Vextar demanded. His sensor, Chief's voice trembled. "Commander, they're not masking anything, these vessels, and they're running cold, completely cold, no thermal output, no electromagnetic emissions. It's as if they don't exist until they fire." The Zephyrians had discovered humanity's greatest tactical advantage: their ability to endure conditions that would kill most sentient species. While other races required extensive life support systems, humans had designed combat vessels that operated in complete vacuum, their crews sustained by nothing more than recycled air and iron discipline. The human ships weren't invisible. They were simply dead, lifeless metal coffins drifting through space until their occupants chose to bring them to terrible life. Captain Maria Santos had been born in the asteroid belt, raised in the kind of environment that most species would consider a frozen hell. She commanded the stealth destroyer Persistent Silence, one of 50 vessels in Earth's Shadow Fleet. Her ship had been drifting powerless for 18 hours, waiting. "Target acquired," her weapons officer whispered, his breath visible in the sub-zero air of the darkened bridge. "Zephyrian heavy cruiser bearing 047. "Fire," Santos said simply. The Persistent Silence came alive for exactly 14 seconds. Emergency power systems activated, weapons charged and discharged. Then everything went dark again. The Zephyrian cruiser, its shields configured to deflect energy weapons and conventional projectiles, had no defense against the experimental plasma lance that punched through its hull like tissue paper. By the time the aliens detected the weapon's discharge, the Persistent Silence was already dead again, indistinguishable from the countless pieces of space debris littering Earth's orbital sphere. The war lasted 11 days. On the 5th day, The Zephyrian second wave arrived to find the remnants of their first wave scattered across the inner solar system. Commander Vextar, now desperate, ordered direct assault on Earth's surface. He discovered humanity's second tactical advantage. They were already living in hell. Earth's defenders didn't retreat to bunkers or underground facilities. They fought from the radioactive ruins of Chernobyl, from the sun-baked deserts of Death Valley, from the hurricane-lashed coasts of the Atlantic. Humans had spent millennia adapting to environments that would kill most alien species within minutes. The Zephyrian ground forces, equipped for standard atmospheric assault, found themselves outmatched by humans fighting in conditions that their own kind couldn't survive without environmental suits. Lieutenant Colonel James Ice Murphy led his unit through the frozen wasteland of Antarctica, hunting Zephyrian dropships that had made the mistake of landing in Earth's most hostile continent. His soldiers moved through -60-degree winds, without powered armor, using terrain that had claimed the lives of explorers for centuries. "They're cold-blooded," Murphy observed, watching through his scope as Zephyrian soldiers moved sluggishly in the Antarctic cold. Literally, their combat effectiveness drops to near zero below freezing. His sniper's bullet found its target, from nearly 2 kilometers away. In the aliens' home environment, the shot would have been impossible. In Antarctica, the bullet's trajectory remained true through the still, frozen air. By the 8th day, the Zephyrian Expeditionary Force had lost 80% of its combat strength. Commander Vextar found himself barricaded in his flagship's command center, watching his empire's greatest military disaster unfold in real time. The final blow came not from humanity's weapons, but from their words. Admiral Chen's final transmission reached every Zephyrian vessel simultaneously. "You studied us during peacetime. You saw our divided nations, our small conflicts, our limited space presence. What you failed to understand is that humanity has never known true peace. We have spent our entire history preparing for war, against our environment, against each other, against the universe itself. You have given us the one thing that terrifies the galaxy, a unified enemy. We are not the soft, primitive species you believed us to be. We are the descendants of creatures who crawled out of primordial oceans, who survived ice ages and asteroid impacts, who turned a death world into our home. We are what happens when evolution forges a species in the crucible of constant struggle. You wanted to conquer Earth, congratulations. You have united humanity." The transmission ended with coordinates for the edge of the solar system and a simple message: "Leave now, or become part of our next training exercise." Commander Vextar gave the order to retreat on the 11th day. The Zephyrian Empire would remember Earth not as a conquered world, but as the graveyard of their greatest fleet. In the years that followed, word spread through the galactic community. There was a world called Earth, inhabited by creatures calling themselves humans. They appeared primitive, divided, and weak. That appearance was the most dangerous lie in the galaxy. The galaxy learned to give humanity's small blue world a very wide berth. Some threats, after all, were too terrible to wake.